We're back! Welcome back to Queen of the Classroom. I'm your host, Amy Allen, and first of all, I've been on cloud nine. So thank you guys so much for just being a part of this with me. I was super nervous to put all of that out in the world, but now I just can't stop thinking about what else I want to talk to you guys about. So today I thought maybe you could learn a little bit more about me. So I have a couple fun facts and I started jotting down a bunch of notes about me that if you aren't blessed with having me as your teacher and you have another wonderful colleague of mine, love my colleagues, that English department, we are rocking it. But if you don't have me, then maybe you don't know some of these things. So former students, as I'm reflecting back, I can see you smiling through most of this video. So let's jump right into it. I have 6 of them for today, but I have way more things to talk about, especially about myself. So I'm sure I'll have some follow-up videos with more fun facts later on. So first of all, one thing you should know about me is I don't ever teach with the lights on. I just never have. And I've also been blessed with being in a classroom with windows, so I can rely on that natural light. But I don't, there's just something about the fluorescence. I just never teach with the lights on. I'm sure I saved the county lots and lots of money by doing that. I think I counted it up once. I think it was only like $23 or something like that. But hey, every little bit counts. I used to have an assistant principal that would come by and flip the lights on as he was just walking down the hall, and I would just go turn them back off. But I distinctly remember I was sick one day, and when I came back the next day, the students were like, "Miss Allen, we knew that you weren't here because the lights were on." And so now I feel like it's a trigger sometimes for students, because if they see my lights on, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Miss Allen's not here." And I don't know if that could be a good thing, like, yay, she's not here, or if it's a panic moment where they're like, oh no, who do we have? Who's it gonna be? Now, the only time that I do have my lights on are during state test, because in the rules, it says students are provided adequate lighting. So I don't wanna get dinged on something silly like that, so I do have them on for testing. But I have lamps and I have a smart board. So I feel like with that, I have more than enough light. I just don't like the lights. I just never have taught with the lights on. Another thing you should know about me, highly competitive. I mean, like, just a smidgen. I arm wrestle students, not all the time. Like, I'm not a jerk about it, but I will arm wrestle. I distinctly remember having a plank contest with a student. He ended up winning. I think we went about 4 minutes. And I don't even know why we were doing it. I think he upset me in some way, so I challenged him to planking. But I lost. I lasted a little over 4 minutes, if I remember correctly, and the other student won. So whatever he won, then good job. I can't remember at the time, but I'm sure it was good. I also lip sync battle. I won once. Well, I mean, I was tied. I tied.
The C is for the courage I possess. For my attitude, working through the patience. Money comes and goes, so the M is for motivation. Stay consistent, the P is to persevere. And always optimistic, open and never shut. And the end is necessary, cause I'm never giving up. See, they ask me how I did it, I just did it. I come from the competition, been doing it from the start. They say that every champion is all about his principles.
I tied with the principal and a beautiful physical education teacher. You know who you are. They did a duet. Glorious. And we tied my first year. We had to end up giving it to a student, though, because there was a prize at the end, so we gave it to the student. I guess it really was for them. Okay. Second year, I got second place. Totally deserve second place because the winners, amazing. So, yes, I will take second place. I also volunteer for all of the staff versus students games, especially volleyball. I have stuffed a few 8th graders. It's amazing. I do remember one time it was staff versus students basketball game, and I was talking a lot of smack, as I do, before the game. And at that school that I was at, the 8th grade boys team was phenomenal, like a phenomenal team. So when it became quite clear that the staff was going to lose, then I was fouling intentionally, and I don't feel bad about it. I also hit 1 3-pointer, and that was pretty much the highlight of the game for me. 1 3-pointer, okay, just one. But that's all I needed. I'm just a believer in, like, I'll make a fool of myself if it gets students engaged and excited to just be present. Like, I'll always remember those moments, and I hope that students do too. And it very much humanizes teachers. We're not just robots. We're not just there to get the paycheck. Trust me, ask any teacher. We're not there for paychecks. I mean, money, yes, but it's about those moments. Those moments that's not written in curriculum anywhere. We just want to be a part of your life, and I will always remember those moments. Third, I have unique callbacks. And what I mean by that is my classroom management is always changing, changes every year, because you have to adapt to your new students. And so what I've developed over the years, with the help of Judy Kim, by the way, she has a class yes yes, and it's pretty popular, and I've molded it into a little bit different. So I will have whoop, and then my students say, there it is. And it's just a way to get them back. Or I will say, bring it, then they say back. We played around with some other ones like peanut butter, and then they would say jelly time, but then someone brought up, what if I have an allergy to peanuts? So then we're like sun butter and jelly, and it just didn't roll off the tongue as well, so we kind of nixed that one. But my absolute favorite is class Miss Allen, and they will say, yes, queen. Makes me smile so much because I am a queen. So that I love anything that's a little out of the box, and those callbacks make me extremely happy. Extremely happy. Fourth, I don't mind some debating in my class. Now I teach English, so when we get to those argumentative essay times, I'm looking for someone who can see both sides to an argument. I'm looking for evidence. I'm looking to back up the evidence. I'm looking for someone to negate the other side so that you're like, okay, well, I believe this, but I know that the other side is going to say this, so let me go ahead and tell you why that's wrong. So I'm looking for that kind of mindset when students are writing argumentative essays. And the best way is to allow those debates to happen throughout the entire year. So I'll give you an example. I had a student last year. Her and I butted heads initially, but goodness, we grew together throughout the year. And I always say, I don't have a favorite student. There's just some of you I like more than others. And for a moment, students are like, oh, what? And I said, think about it though. Guys, you have teachers who you prefer over others too. It's not just me. Like, I'm not meaning to be mean. And so this particular student said, but those who you like more than others, aren't those your favorites? And I said, well, no, I don't think so. And she's like, okay, so what about ice cream? And so we got into this whole big thing about ice cream because my favorite is Coffee Buzz 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 from Ben & Jerry's. It's my favorite. And so we started it ended up being where she came up to the board, she drew pictures, we had arrows, everything was color coordinated, it was highly organized, and we ended up really coming up with something pretty solid. And I was so impressed with her logic and her respectful tone throughout the entire process. So I had to concede. I was like, okay, you win. Like this, okay, I do have favorites. Thank you so much. But if I didn't allow that time to happen and allow that student to have a voice and to explain her reasoning, then goodness, I don't know if the writing would be as strong. I don't know if, because she's an excellent writer. Wow, she is an excellent writer. And she is, whatever she sets her mind to in the future career, she's gonna nail it. She's just incredible. Incredible thinker. So by allowing those moments, as long as it's done respectfully, I don't mind the debate. I don't ever mind the debate. I've had lots of debates with students, and as long as it is led with that kindness and respect, it comes out where we're both winning. We're both winning. They get their voice heard. I see that their logical reasoning is sound, and their writing is so much better. Oh, just magical moments. Fifth. Sometimes students are late to class. It happens. Sometimes I'm late to class. It happens, especially after lunch. So sometimes I'll just mark tardy and move on if I need to get going for the day. But more often than not, I will ask for a story. A story as to why are you late? And there have been some really interesting stories over the years. And again, there's always a method to the madness. It is to strengthen their writing. Let's see how creative this student can be. So I had one particular student who was notorious for being a bit late. And let's call him Matthew. His name is not actually Matthew, but let's just call him Matthew. So Matthew walks in one day and I'm like, okay, I want a story this time. I was like, Matthew, why are you late? And he gets excited. He's like, oh, well, you see, Miss Allen, there was this alligator that came and bit my foot off and then dragged me into the sewer. And Jonathan was there. Jonathan was there. Right, Jonathan? And so now the class is like, wait, what's going on? I was like, oh, no way. I was like, that alligator took off your foot? I was like, but you have both feet. And he took one foot and put it into his pants pocket. Not his pants pocket. His pants leg. And so it looked like he was just having his shoe. I was like, oh my gosh, where did all the blood go? And he said, yeah, it's just a stump now. I was like, oh my gosh, tell me more. So he said, okay, so I was down in the sewers and I was really just trying to get from the cafeteria to your classroom, Miss Allen. This is all I was trying to do. I was just trying to get to class on time. It's like, I know, I completely understand. Tell me more. So then there was this dragon. It's like, whoa, where did this dragon come from? There are portals in the school, Miss Allen. I don't know if you know about these portals, but there's these portals that will take you all over the building. And this dragon had come out of a portal and was blocking my way to your class. And I was like, no way. I need to get to class. Not today, dragon. So while I was fighting the dragon, then I said, oh, I didn't notice you came in like you were panting. Is that why? And this went on for minutes and minutes and minutes of just this back and forth, back and forth. And I said, you know what, I completely understand. So I'm not gonna mark you tardy today. He's like, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna get so much more out of that kid by allowing him that time to develop the details as to why he's late. Now I understand I can't do that every single day. I just can't. And also they only get one chance. I don't just keep letting them tell stories each time that they're late. They get one. So this was his one. But it was a beautiful story. And and I'm sure he'll always remember that too. I will. I'll always remember the dragon alligator story. It's a great one. Last bit for you today is something that is a big pet peeve of mine. I absolutely loathe when middle school students are called kiddos. It sounds weird coming out of my mouth. I don't like that term for middle school students. Now, I will never talk ill of a colleague. I will never tell another colleague how to run their classroom. So I do have colleagues that call students kiddos. Nothing against them. They are wonderful educators. But me personally, I can't get over that term. And I think it's because if I call you kiddo, then I feel like my standards for you are a little lower than what I would prefer. And I set very high standards for students, and I reward generously. My students meet and exceed my expectations on a daily basis. Some of them do not, and we have conversations. But my students know about my high standards for them. And I think that if I were to use the term kiddo, then that diminishes that standard. So I understand that the middle school student is also stuck because you're not in elementary anymore. You don't have to line up single file. You don't have to be completely silent in the hallways. You actually have to get yourself to class on your own in middle school. And you have so many different personalities of teachers to deal with. You're going through a ton of changes, like physically, emotionally, socially. Everything is different. You have way more responsibility now. But you're also not high school where you drive yourself to places, you have a job, you go meet your friends out and go do activities together without like checking with the adults in the house. So it's this weird middle ground where you are so thirsty for that responsibility. You want it, and I want to give that to you. I want to give you all the responsibility. But I'm also cognizant of you're not quite ready for all of the responsibility. So I think with just me, I try to be really intentional with the wording. And like I said, middle school students, you're kind of stuck because you want the responsibility, but then you're also treated like a kid sometimes. So then it's this weird like no-win situation. And it's like you are still a kid because you're not 18 yet, but you want to be treated a little older because you are older. So it's like this weird, us adults are just trying to figure you out too. So I know you're trying to figure yourself out. We're trying to figure you out too. And I think for me, just that word kiddo just is, I don't like it, so I don't use it. Okay. 6 facts about me. You're gonna have more. Trust me, you're gonna have way more. And also, you like my earrings? This is from one of my girlfriends out in Colorado. Her name's Kit. She's fantastic. She's a fantastic teacher too, by the way. Teach friends. Anywho, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you continue to make smart choices and be kind to one another. You should also be kind to yourself, but be kind to one another. See you later. Bye.